You'll have to say because I don't keep count. If you remember, we all used to use the white toggle, didn't we, on the bottom of the mast?
Yes.
Yeah, for dropping and lowering, the white toggle on there. That white toggle is now redundant. I'll put a bit of tape around it, we don't use it. We now use this valve here to lower the mast. It also, as it comes down, it goes into there. It also drains the water. You know, this time of year we get condensation and the mast freezes at times. The condensation that used to sit in the bottom of here, it now comes through and drains out the bottom of there. So if you see water trickling out of the bottom of there, it's not going to gush out like a hose pipe, but if you see water coming out of there, please don't worry about it, but just make sure it's going that way and that, not going under the inverter.
Closed, open. Just give you a rough idea what pressure's in the mast system. We don't use that valve anymore. That is where you plug the compressor into. Schrader type valve fitting. So the outer loop just pushes back to release the cable or hose when it's in there. Drain for mast is now down here, draining out the back, hopefully not onto the inverter.
Guy ropes. Are we getting all out now?
Get it all going, everybody can put it together. Yeah.
We need a hand because it's very, very heavy.
It's a two-person lift, remember?
We take it away from the van. Jenny here, which we don't use anymore, but it is here for emergencies. If the new battery, everybody new battery pack? Yeah, the way that charges now is off this plug here. When you get back in the unit, plug it in, charges that. It also charges the motor battery. If this comes down lower than about a third, you need to turn the engine on and it will then...
The alternator will charge
that. Okay, so we haven't got to have the Jenny going all the time, all the fumes and whatever.
For those of you who've been here a while, if you remember, we used to have the Jenny out and we used to plug into the side of the vehicle. That is now redundant. We don't use that anymore. So no.
Okay, up. So we get your cones. Important to put these by the heavy weights of the guide rope so that people don't trip over, and also you can use them for making a secure area if it's a bit busy. So this valve is very important. When you drop the mast at the end of the session, leave it open, okay? Because what can happen now, the seals have been done, if we're going over rough ground, we get a bit of bounce. If the mast isn't secure, it can just lift up slightly, okay, which takes it over 3.2 metres, in which case it's an issue, and it'll hit a bridge or whatever. Okay, so it's important that's left open when we finish. So obviously, before we start, we shut the valve, yeah? Valve is now shut. You've got a gauge on there which will tell you how much air is in the mast itself. It's about 2 bar. Right? Not important really, but it's just there for, well, it's there for show, not for show. Right, so we get out the first thing we need to get out is this. You've got the rubber part on the back which is going to touch the van so we don't scratch the van. Very simple. Make sure each section is up and clicked in so it's not going to drop down. Okay, I'll put it there. Whenever you go up the ladder, have somebody on the bottom because it can slip. Especially a little bit of a slope here, we might just do a bit of that. We don't want anybody being hurt, obviously. So we have somebody up the ladder and somebody's going to pass the aerial to me up the top. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So, on the mast, you've got these toggles here. Yep. Loosen them off. If you're putting them back on, only do it finger tight. Don't ratchet it on because it will break the inside and score inside the mast. Right? And make sure everyone's on. This is all before we started the Jenny the compressor. Before we do anything else, we're going to attach the ends of the guy rope. So if I could have 3 ends, please. You don't give it some slack so nothing gets tangled up. Next one, please. Thank you. The next one goes in the middle, so that wants to be over that direction. Okay. And the third one goes in the back one, and if you go off towards the rear of the ICU. Yep. Like so. So, what you don't want to do with these is pull them, okay? If it's very windy, you can give it a little bit of strength, but don't pull them too hard, else it'll bend the mast potentially, alright? Right, so I'm coming down. Go, go, go. Thank you. We need the cables on. Important to make, you see these hooks here? These toggles where the cable for the aerial is going to go. Alrighty, so you want to have them in line when you start, so that they will stay in line all the way up. There's nothing worse than getting the cable tangled. If it gets tangled, we need to bring it back down again and untangle it. Otherwise, it will stop the mast off. So if I could have the aerial, thank you very much. The aerial fits in here. There's a toggle switch, fits in, it only goes in about an inch. Don't over tighten that, please, there's no need. Doesn't matter which direction that is. Now I've got to get the cable through these lovely hooks. They do go. Just a bit tricky. So as the mast is going up, you want to make sure that is in that position, so you can see all of this going up so it doesn't get snagged. Then we've got to bring it back down again. So, since we've had this back, the seal's a lot better. So when the compressor has started, you want to let the 2 sections hold on to the bottom bit, and the third one down, okay? 1, 2, 3. And let the 2 sections at the top go up first, okay? Whoever's on the coax needs to feed it out nice and steady. And I'm going to be up here guiding it through. There's a join about 3/4 of the way, or 1/4 of the way through. Be careful of that because it can get caught on these toggles, yeah? Right. Okay, compressor on please. You missed that. You did. So just hold it gently, then that gets to the top.
It's turned on.
It's on.
It's working.
It's on.
We need some gloves while we're doing this. It's covered in grease, okay? So it's not very nice to hold this one.
Blue sky line, please.
Watch these lines, guys. Keep them going out gentle. And if you notice, I'm trying to keep this coax in line with everything so it doesn't spin round at the top. You can just hold it. Going nice and steady. There's no rush on this at all. And the guy ropes want to keep feeding out and not putting too much pressure. Okay, so you can hold it if you want to. All of these are loose, so it'll go up freely. So not that join. Be careful now as that goes through. Yeah, it can snag and it pulls it all to about 3 feet, which isn't very good. So I'll just let it go now. There's 9 sections. There we go. It's not about pressure inside the mast, it's about volume apparently. So as the volume increases, up she goes. Nice and steady. It's a little bit slower than it was before because it's packed with grease and they've got new seals on it. Outside and in. The air seals are on the inside. So if you can notice they're going up steady as it goes on. Straight, the coax is coming up with it. Nice and straight up the side of the mast. Everybody's safe, here we go. You'll know when it's up because because the compressor will start